And welcome to episode number 2. Super excited to dive into even deeper branding and what we do with the brand from here.
So not everything about running a business is sexy. Honestly, most of it's pretty boring. Most of it is monotonous. Most of it is doing the things you know you're supposed to be doing, even though you don't want to do it. But some of it's fun. You have to make sure you choose the right tool to get the job done to hit your target. This is the wrong tool. Don't use that. The tools we're going to teach you in this episode are going to set you up for your future self. You want to make sure you're protected. You want to make sure you do the right steps in the beginning. Don't wait till the end because it's too late. If your brand isn't sellable, you really don't have anything. So stick around, pay attention, take notes. This is launch.
First, let's jump on a call with my trademark attorney, Hunter Freeman. He keeps us straight, make sure we're legal. Let's dive in. So when I went to RapSync and Brent, our mutual friend, and I said, hey, listen, I have no concept of a name or an idea. I just know what business I want to start. What do you have for me? And basically him and his team went to the drawing board and they did basic searches to find the name Comet Lighting. And it seemed like the social media pages were available. Domain was available. It was expensive, but it was available. And then the final piece was the trademark search, which is when I reached out to you and you did go ahead, what'd you call it? A preliminary search, I think?
Yeah, a clearance search, a registrability search. And typically, you're right, those searches cost about the filing fee that you're going to pay to file that application with the trademark office will charge you a filing fee. That's in the ballpark of the cost that you're going to pay just to get the search done. So I think it's a good investment up front. It's a good cash management. And so, yeah, that was a smart thing to do. A lot of people don't think about, is the domain name available? Is my social media handle available? And you did that before you even came to me. So kudos to you.
Yeah, well, kudos, but it was expensive. The domain name alone was $2,500. And I really considered doing something different, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. I think everything's going to pan out. We have big vision and big goals for this company, and I think we're doing it right. For the first time in my entire life, we're picking a name and we're building the brand the right way. So before we got into any additional costs with the branding, obviously the uniforms, wrapping the vehicles, anything like that, website, we wanted to hear back from you. You did your preliminary search and you came back and you said basically it looks good, right?
You have to be the first person in that market area to acquire the rights, and those rights are only limited to the market areas in which you're in. Mm-hmm. So let's say even if you're the first person in South Carolina, but then you decide we want to franchise and go out in different states or different parts of the country, if there is someone else who's gotten to a different part of the country before you, they can prevent you from expanding into that area. Whereas if you file a trademark registration, you kind of stop that race to get before it even starts. So that once I file my trademark application, I have developed nationwide rights as of the date of my filing date. So then I can take my time and expand nationwide over a decade or more without having to worry about, in the interim, is someone going to pop up and start using my mark somewhere else. And the unfortunate part is, someone, let's say that they're from California, came to South Carolina on vacation, saw your business and said, I love that business. I love that business name. I'm going to steal it and go start in California. There would be nothing to prevent them from doing that. And then when you get to California 3 years later, they say, so sad, but I'm here first.
Okay, so picture this. You build a company you're proud of, something that other people are now paying attention to, and they potentially want to buy that company, but you're not sellable. Why are you not sellable? Because you didn't protect your brand, you didn't protect the name. So make sure you pay attention. This is important stuff.
Just so the audience knows, this is way more affordable than I thought it would be, trademarking a business. Just hearing that from my perspective feels daunting and expensive. But if you choose the right name and you put the right people around you to make sure that it'll pan out, then it's really not that big of a deal.
But the other thing is we handle that process for you, right? Like, so we soup to nuts. We take the search, and then we do the application, and then the trademark office communicates directly with us, so you don't have to keep up with any of that. And then once you get your registration, we have a docketing system so that we'll let you know when the renewal comes up at year 5, year 10, year 20, year 30. And we track all that for you, right? So you don't have to worry about any of that. We take care of it for you.
So I guess that segues into what's next for Comet Lighting. We've now, my wife has signed the documents. She's the owner of Comet Lighting. She signed the documents, and if the application is completed, what do we expect from here?
So yeah, I actually just filed that application before I got on this call. And so it will probably be about 4 or 5 months before we actually hear from the trademark office. That's just the backlog of how many applications are pending. And at that point in time, what I expect to hear is basically them saying, yes, we're going to give you this. So they'll issue what's called a notice of allowance, saying, hey, look, we've done our search. We don't see any issues that would prevent you from getting a registration. And from that notice of allowance, because you filed what's called an intent to use application, meaning that you were not actually using the mark to provide the goods and services when the application was filed, they will give you a 6-month period to say, okay, you've passed all the bureaucratic hurdles. The last thing you got to do to get your registration is prove to us that you're actually using this mark to sell goods and services. But again, the effective date of it is the filing date. So that's today. So all the rights that you are going to get stem from today, your filing date.
Blah, 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 legal jargon, blah, 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 legal stuff. I get it. This is the boring stuff about business that nobody wants to do. Most people overlook, and it's where most people get in trouble. Pay attention. This stuff matters. Don't try and do it yourself. Call Hunter Freeman, get the guidance and the legal advice you need to set yourself up for future generations.
So one of the main themes of this entire YouTube series is me leaning on the professional people to do the job right? I think in the past, most business owners do this. They all think, I'm gonna do it, I gotta do everything, I'm gonna name it, I'm gonna pick the brand, I'll build the website, I'll answer the phones, I'll do the thing, right? And what ends up happening is they burn out and there's a lot of mistakes, and then they crash and burn. That's why most businesses fail within 3 to 5 years. So I'll just tell that for the people that are watching this, working with Hunter has been so simple and so quick and easy. I absolutely would recommend it. Don't do it by yourself. This has been an enjoyable experience, honestly. Well, I guess because the name was available, right? It could have been the exact opposite experience.
I forgot to tell you something. You ever get an email from somebody that's blah, blah, blah @gmail.com and immediately think that's unprofessional? That's because it is. So listen up. This is easy. Set up a domain-based email that makes you look professional from day one. It's something you can check off your list right out of the gate. Check it out.
So it's my opinion that you don't want an email account that's Trevor@gmail or CometLighting@gmail.com. You want to set yourself apart and become more professional than your competition. One very simple way to do that is through your email. And I prefer using G Suite or Google's Workspace. It's fantastic because it integrates well with the Google Calendar. Obviously the Gmail, you're already familiar with that. Drive and several other features that just really are nice. So as you add teammates to your company, you can do sales at Comet Lighting, info at Comet Lighting, Trevor at Comet Lighting. You might have lead tech 1, lead tech 2, right? You've got all these people you can add, and it just, the tier goes up. The cost is a per user cost. But in my opinion, using Google Workspace for this is the best way to do it. I do it for all of our businesses.
Okay, so we just got our website back for a review. It's a rough edit. I don't want to, make them look bad at all. That's not the case here, but this is just how we work together. With ClickCallSell will send me the structure, if you will, the foundation of the design, and then I will kind of go through it, and typically I would be the one going through it and making subtle changes, and then from there we build out the rest of the site, all the pages and the add-ons and things like that. But while we're here, we might as well go through it, make sure it's on brand and on point.
I do want to give them credit just out the gate because we do work, we pass off brand style guides and our customers' branding to web developers, and the results are mixed.
Sure.
To be gentle here, so I just want to give these guys a shout out for like a first review. They've actually done a relatively good job like adhering to like the brand style guide and making it still kind of feel like it belongs with some of the other materials that you've already had done. And even again, just to give them a little bit credit here, even with how we work, what we showed you in like our final presentation actually really still wasn't final. We usually do another polishing pass before we pass off our final deliverables. So, this is just the nature of things being in progress, but I think what they've started with is actually pretty good. Yeah, I kind of like they found like an interesting use for the for like the one color sort of logo. So I thought that was a cool thing that they did. No, but again, I want to reiterate to them. I think they're doing a good job.
He's the jerk, Doug.
Yeah, you can be mad at me, but Trevor's cool. I'm the mean one.
I tried talking him out of it. He wants a complete rebuild. I mean, that color transition there is really good in my eyes. Like that's on brand all the way to here.
But I like this. I like that it has the like the little logo there. I think that's cool. I don't want a backseat design. I'm more here just to make sure everything feels like it belongs with the other stuff.
And for the record, I asked him to do this, so.
All right, here you see 2 ClickCallSell websites. The one on the right, Comet Lighting, obviously is not completed. They're working on some final things, but it's up for review, so you get the general idea. Both websites are fantastic. Honestly, really well done, well put together. This one is strictly holiday lighting and permanent lighting, so it's a little bit different. But here's the issue, right? Here's this beautiful Christmas light display and all these jobs we've done, and it says clean image pressure washing right here. So it's a little, just another reason why we had to switch things over. So Comet Lighting to the right, it's more cohesive, it's more brandable, it is going to be fantastic. The point is, when you're hiring a professional company, you want to know that they specialize in the thing that you're hiring them for. So Comet Lighting does that. We can cross this off our list. Done. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Cheeseball.
All right, we're looking at the final revisions for our website, cometlighting.com. Go check it out. Michael Grigery and his team at ClickCallSell absolutely crushed it. We're going to sit down with Michael right now. We're going to go over the final details and the execution and make sure we're telling the right story. Check it out.
Michael Grigery, ClickCallSell. He's built several websites for us in the past. Absolutely phenomenal. Can't wait to dive in on this new venture we're on. This is something new for me. It's a service that we've never offered. It's kind of a different market, so I really don't even know where to start. So I'm glad I know Michael because he's the guy.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Trevor. And I really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to build another one of your websites. I looked at the other day, we use Elementor, and we have almost 800 sites that we've built in the Elementor platform. And I have been working with landscape lighting companies since 2021, maybe 2020. And I've learned a lot over this time with licensors, just large 7-figure companies that have lighting that move into landscape lighting. And what I've learned is clients that get like professional landscape lighting done, it's not as much about the money as it is the experience or the void that you're feeling. And so whenever you're creating a website or marketing or lead generation for a landscape lighting company, you really want to like tap into that emotion or the reason why they may need it and tell their story. It's elegance, it's security, it's safety, it's letting the kids play outside. Are you entertaining, guests and parties outside while your kids can stay inside? It's expanding the place where you can entertain guests in your property. So you really want to position yourself as like the lighting problem solver, because you know that you're not going to have the size of audience that other industries are going to have. And so we want to do a really, really good job at telling our customers' story and how lighting can enhance their lives, solve their problems, or the features and benefits and why they want to get it done.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the homepage of the website. It's built to brand. Your team has done a phenomenal job going back and forth with my pain in the butt suggestions. But we've stayed very true to brand, even down to the font. and the shapes.
So for you or anybody who's thinking about creating a different brand, what's the story? I like to talk about brand and branding as a noun and a verb. Your brand is the way your logo looks, the fonts, the colors, the texture, your vehicle wraps. Like, it's just the thing that exists. Branding, I like to think about as a verb. It's like the action of getting people to see your brand. And you can do that through 1,000 ways, right? You can do it through events, you can do it through Facebook groups, you can do it through direct mail or whatever it is, but you have to be actively branding your business, getting your name in front of people, in front of the right people in order to be successful.
2 questions. What's AEO and what's GEO?
AEO is answer engine optimization. And so it's like AEO is like the super word probably like 6 or 8 months ago. So answer engine, it's where I ask a question, Alexa, and Alexa will give me the answer, right? It's like just giving me answers. The GEO is what you're going to see, like the generative text. So it's going to be populating like on when I search on Google, it's just going to give me that answer. And so you'll start to see when you start type into Google, like it's just telling you the answer to your question right there. So you're going to want to do both of those.
Got it.
Optimizing for voice and optimizing for GEO, generative engine optimization.
So is there any final words you have for me or the people that are watching this that are starting the new business? They're not exactly sure where they should focus their time, how they should be strategic with the way they unroll and develop the brand and the identity in their local marketplace. Where would you start? Give me some advice. Let me know what you're thinking.
You want to make a landscape lighting business work? Absolutely you can. Like, do the right things. It's not about the idea, it's about the execution of the idea. And so anybody that wants to do something extraordinary and break through that self-limiting belief and the ceiling that they may put on themselves is identify like why. Why do you want to do it, right? And once you identify why you want to do it, that reason why has to be bigger than all the challenges that you're going to face along the way, because you are going to become a different version of yourself from an operational standpoint. You're going to be a different operator. You're going to be a different communicator, a different leader once you get to that point. And you have to be prepared for the change that's going to happen along the way. The core of who you are at your core is not going to change. But imagine yourself, if you run a $500,000 business now, sitting on the chair of the board of a $100 million business, you'd be lost, right? You've never done that before. You have no idea what's involved. And so you have to be mentally prepared for that growth that you have in your why. And as long as you're prepared to change and grow along with your business, you can achieve anything. And so what I would say to you, Trevor, is like, figure out why you're doing this. And then every decision that you make has to be in line with the reason why you're doing it. And if you are, you're going to be successful. And you've already got the contacts and the network and the skills, and you've already scaled a business. And if you can scale a pressure washing business, you can scale any business. So you've got everything you need. I would just say, figure out why you're doing it and run every decision through that why. And if the answer is yes, then do it.
I love it.
And one thing I'm really proud of that ClickCallSell has done is changed hundreds and hundreds of lives, because we are not selling snake oil. We're not selling something that's not a long-term solution. We have an incredible team of people that truly care about the success of their clients. And it's so much more than just marketing. Marketing is 6, 8, 10% of your total sales. It's your business is not going to survive or fail because of your marketing, unless you are just like diving all in on it. It's going to be in your sales process and operational infrastructure and the culture you create and how you are as an operator. So me personally, I am wholly focused on most of my days is doing CMO work and coaching clients, going through the entire workflow of their business, and then creating software and products and services that help people not just do better at marketing, but help become better business owners. And so that's what ClickCallSell does, is we help people not only get leads, but to run a more profitable business.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about it. I just want to make sure that we do it the right way. So I'm talking to people like you, you're building the website, you're an expert in digital footprints. I'm just, this time around, I'm not doing it all on my own. I'm just relying on people like you. So any input.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is this. Social media is huge with landscape lighting. It's a completely game changer. Again, the bottom of the funnel, you think about Google ads, Bing ads, even like AI, like the ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever it could be, is the volume still low, right? There's way more people searching for hot water heater information than there are landscape lighting. Social media is where it's at. And the reason is because you can tell their story, right? You can solve problems they don't even realize they had, right? So what are the reasons somebody would want to get landscape lighting done in their home? Write those 10 reasons down. It could be safety, security, privacy, having work hard at night, entertaining guests, whatever it could be, right? And then you start to create content around those different topics. Once you create the content, post it, and then track your engagement.
I really appreciate it.
Now that we got all the important stuff done, moving on to some of the more fun stuff. Let's get that uniform done, baby.
We're here at 72 Hour Print. We're gonna show you a little bit behind the scenes, what it takes to make these shirts, what really goes into these handmade, hand-sewn, hand-printed shirts. I'm with James, Jakar, and Victoria, and we're gonna go behind the scenes and get this done.
Welcome. There we go. Let's have some fun.
So in this particular case, we have a design that's provided by our customer. Longtime customer of ours, Trevor Steele, has got a new business that he's doing with Comet Lighting. So we've taken this art and we need to actually plug it into our own templates because we've spent a lot of time doing the sizing and getting everything just right. Once everything is set at the end, you end up with full collar placket, front, back, and the sleeve art that matches exactly what the customer originally provided. So once it's done on that side with the getting all the sizing and everything done right, we bring it over here to one of our brand new Epsons that does fluorescent colors. So here we get in whoever's operating in production. They're gonna come in and go into their ready to print folder, see all the files that are actually, ready to go into production. It all has the fabric code with it, so we know exactly what material it's gonna go on. So in this case, we want to grab this guy. So, well, one thing that sets our fabric apart is the amount of time that we actually research before we actually choose a fabric that, comes in here. So this is one of our 3 calendar heat presses. They all operate at about 400 degrees. So everything went in as one, and that beautiful black roller up there marries everything together, and then it gets all separated and spits out on the back as 3 different pieces. We've got the wax paper that protects the roll, the actual print that we did, and then the final fabric comes out. Literally, this is just one sheet, so we're just gonna hand cut it real quick. Can we get Diana to cut this real fast? The other part of the process obviously is the sewing, because we got to put the pieces together. It's almost like if you love the quality, which all of our customers do, you have to appreciate and respect the process. Marilyn, you have that shirt ready? Have it, please. Trevor.
So you guys have been in business a long time.
Yep, 22 years.
22 years. Tell us a little bit about how you started, where you're going, what your plans are, what you have for a vision for your company, that kind of stuff.
That's a long story, but to make it short, started out as a print broker, became a printer. We grew from commercial printing to signage to wraps, and we got into sublimation about 10 years ago. Now we do sublimation, so shirts, pants,
and sublimation, what is sublimation?
Sublimation is what you're wearing. So instead of a screen printed shirt, which is traditional screen printing, or embroidery where you stitch it like the hat, we sublimate onto the fabric. So what we do is we actually print it on paper, press it on the polyester, and then we cut it out, and then we sew it up. So basically, we manufacture like China, but right here in the United States.
Very cool.
American-made fabric, staff all on payroll. Sublimation's never going to fade, crack, or peel. That's the difference, really.
And it can apply to feather flags, tablecloths. We sublimate shoes, we sublimate hats, we sublimate shirts, hoodies, boat flags. It doesn't matter. Whatever the fabric is or the material, a event tent, those are also sublimated as well.
You did a tent for us for Clean Image.
Trade show graphics, SIG graphics, we did it all. So doing that for 9 years, we pretty much focused more on the sublimation side of everything than the printing side, but nevertheless, we're still a printer. 11 years, 11,000 square foot, 22 years in, we do it all. Sign shop, wrap shop, sub shop, embroidery, screen printing. There isn't anything that you would need to market or run your business that we don't do in-house, for sure.
If it's printing, we do it.
We do it.
Appreciate y'all.
You got it, man. Nice shirt.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for watching. Stick around. We're headed to Orlando, Florida. Next episode with Ryan Lee and Landscape Lighting Secrets to learn how to do landscape lighting. You're not going to want to miss it. I got a great idea. Right after I finish this White Claw. Delicious and nutritious. Hold my beer. Stick around. This is going to be great. All right, listen. This whole series about trusting the professionals to help you, right? Well, then what better way to illustrate that than to have my videographer? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Don't move, Phil. This man's crazy. Cheese ball.